Hi, I'm EmRatThich, Lin Yun-Ju, the silent assassin. He's a name synonymous with one of the most devastating shots in table tennis, the backhand flick. Many consider his backhand flick to be among the best, if not the best, in the world. Today we're going to unlock his secrets and show you what makes this shot so incredibly effective.
Use our footwork to find the ideal contact point. When we go up, it's the same principle. We must load with the left leg, then push up forcefully. And as we go up, it mainly depends on the right leg to precisely catch the ball. If the ball is in the middle, I go to the middle. If it's short to the forehand, I move there. So the power generation and leg direction depend on where the ball lands. When we are moving, what must we be aware of? The hand must not be too far from the body. It should stay within the triangle zone. Many players like to reach out when flicking. They like to do this. They focus more on what Coach Sun taught, the hand movement, but they ignore the footwork, so they're often out of position. For example, some prepare too far back, then try to flick a short ball, and they reach out. Even for chance balls, they reach to flick. Many mistakes come from this problem. Why? Because they always rely on the hand, especially stretching left, stretching right, stretching for short balls. But these balls can all be handled with proper footwork. Get in position with your feet to make a stable, high-quality flick. Watch carefully. Ready, flick and loop. Flick and loop. Flick, transfer weight forward. See that? I found the contact point without stretching. I stayed compact. I had better power storage. But if I stretch to flick, look what happens. I rely only on the hand to lift. Even if it lands, the quality is very low. To be honest, the hit rate will be very low. Look at the legs. The hands never move, only the legs. Legs move. Yes, the legs move. Legs move. Yes. This is the first key point during movement. Your right leg's landing spot must be precise, and your center of gravity must stay low. Second, your leg reaction must be sensitive. Third, never reach with your hand to find the ball. Focus your attention on your legs. 80% of your focus should be through your legs. That's how you find the right position. Fourth, generate stable power output. Everyone knows you must use the blade tip when flicking. So how to use the blade tip? Actually, it's simple to understand. The thumb and the base of the thumb, the index finger, and the middle finger are closest to the blade tip. Right, so here's a simple method. We use a training plan. Hold the racket with your thumb, base of the thumb, and index finger. Focus on these three fingers. See, once you pinch with these fingers, the racket angle opens up naturally. This also solves the problem of all five fingers gripping too tightly. You'll find that no matter how hard you try to control the angle, it won't move. It's because the other two fingers interfere, the ring and little fingers. So we remove those two fingers during training. This helps improve your technique. Make everything inside the table simple. The most direct method is subtraction. Remove all unnecessary movements. Get rid of any extra wrist and scattered energy. Eliminate it all. With this grip training, you can carefully follow Coach Sun. It will help improve your flick technique. You'll find that if you follow my training method, when you do a normal banana flick like this, you will feel this kind of penetrates the blade more and grips the ball better. There are no extra movements at all. So through this kind of training, you can clearly feel what a flick is, especially the two fingers inside the table. When you grip the racket more, these two fingers mainly assist in holding the racket. They're not for gripping tightly or generating power. In fact, power at the moment of impact only comes from the first three fingers. Let me show you again. Actually, the quality is already very high. See that? If you use all five fingers to grip and exert force simultaneously, the power becomes scattered. It's not focused. That's why you often see high-level players with good flicks, but you don't notice the small details. Like I just said, we, including Coach Sun himself, they just assist and lightly rest there, just gently holding the handle. No need to actively apply force. The active power comes from the first three middle finger, index finger, and thumb. See, now when I hold the racket properly, doesn't the shot feel crisp? So what should you aim to train? After finishing a whole basket of multi-ball, you should feel soreness in these 3 fingers and the base of the thumb, even your wrist. That proves you're training correctly. His overall concept is basically this. His stance, his preparation, his center of gravity, all are very strong. As you can see, his height is average, but his legs are quite straight. That's what I mentioned before, the butt theory. But he never bends his knees like this, because if you squat like this, you can't with speed and explosiveness. So what's his strength? His hand movement is very minimal. He uses his body more, so he's not afraid when the opponent targets him with short half-long serves. You'll notice many times. Let me take the right-handed example. If he realizes it's half-long, he can move back slightly and gently flick long, because his hand, wrist, and fingers are very sensitive. His hand skills are excellent. First, if your serve is really aggressive, his motion is so small and his build is slim. So he can always, because his movement is small, he's not stretching to flick or loop, so he can always switch to forehand and attack your half-long. That's why his flick is scary. Even a half-long serve can't limit him. That's one reason. Now, why is his flick terrifying? First, he uses his whole body in the motion. In his flick, he doesn't rely on the arm, because his body weight is very light. You can clearly see thin arms, thin legs, right? So what's his advantage? His legs and arm span are relatively long. That's a kind of natural gift. But more importantly, it's technique. He uses his body to pull, to extend the flicking distance. And I just taught everyone, you need to turn your body a bit. This is the key in Lin Yun-Ju's flick. You can see clearly. Whether it's Fan Zhendong or Zhang Jike, they don't need to rotate the waist that much when receiving. They might just flick directly more often. See, they flick more straight on. But for Lin Yun-Ju, you'll notice, whether you watch his past or current videos, you'll see in his flick, his body turns more than average. That's part of the plan I designed for him, because he's slim. But even then, he already had a strong sense of flicking. Make it spinning, make it rhythmic, add variation and rotation. Speed of the banana flip. So what should he do? His body will rotate more to the side, especially since most of his opponents are right-handed. So when he runs over and you serve short to his forehand, he runs in and turns his whole body to flick. What's the advantage of turning the body like that? Maybe his quality isn't as high as Fan Zhendong's, but what makes him good? Once his body turns to the side. What does that mean? He can flick with more angles to the opponent's backhand, which is usually the right-hander's backhand, and he can rotate his waist and guide the shot anytime, using waist and wrist, not just hand strength. He can change the line, flick down the line, so his body always acts as a key to changing the direction, a focal point, so when opponents see his flick motion, they don't dare to move recklessly. That's one of his characteristics. But if I'm facing straight forward and flick my flick only has 2 landing spots. Without the waist turn, it's limited. The placement is narrower and stiff. You'll see when I flick facing forward, I can only flick to that angle. If I flick down the line, it'll be too straight, and it won't deceive the opponent. So if you do it like that, the opponent's pressure is cut in half. He can easily cover both spots. But when facing Lin Yun-Ju, after he turns his body, the opponent doesn't dare to rotate their body randomly. They can only passively wait and follow up. Then his next shot can be even faster. So that's the advantage of his flicking style. And another thing, how does he compensate for his small body size without having absolute power, still generating such speed? Why? Actually, even strong athletes can use this technique. After I come in, he turns sideways. After turning sideways, what does he do? His wrist is tucked in even more than yours. See, it's tucked in more, and his hips are more dominant. These are all bonus points. They all add power, speed, and spin. The most important part is what? Both of his shoulders, look, are pulled inward. So doesn't his whole body. Because he's slim, he's fast. He can always twist and now look, distance. I turn my body first, right? Then I tuck the wrist in. Then both shoulders pull in. Finally, I use the hand and fingers, so it's always 1 1 equals 2, then 2 2 equals 4. It's more than you, or more than his opponent. By 2 2 for extra units of power. That's why his style is so distinct, it comes out in the banana flip. That's also why he's been able to stay at the world's top level for so long. Up to now, he's never dropped. It's one of his most important secret weapons. Now I'll demonstrate it for you. Basic banana flick, gradually building up to the quality of Lin Yun-Ju's how the quality of the flick evolves. Here's a basic flick. No turning of the body, just using now the second one. I turn my body slightly, look, sideways. Slight turn, did you notice? The ball quality improved. It got a bit faster. That small turn just like Lin Yun-Ju. After he turns, if your shot is a bit weak, he'll turn even more. Watch I turn even more. See, the whole body twists. That adds even more. Adds another unit of power. Then, one more variation. Make it even more aggressive. Raise the stance higher. Now what's the benefit of raising it? The ball goes from high to low. This shot is more aggressive. He gained another point. Look, he lifted it a bit more. You see, actually the opponent's serve wasn't that high. His serve wasn't really high. It was just a normal ball. But he capitalized on it. This is the type of detail many ignore in the big ball era, especially European players who serve a bit high. He's exploiting this weakness. Like I said, stick your butt out more. Very aggressive ball. Now one more thing to add. As I said, bring both shoulders inward. Then push your whole body outward. Because he's thin. As I said, he's very slim. So he has room to move. Of course, when you're flicking, if you have time and the chance, you can do this movement. Watch me turn sideways and drop the shoulders. Drop the shoulders and go. Dropping the shoulders makes it more deceptive. The opponent has no idea where then your body turns. Look, after I turn, I can rotate to this position. No matter if the opponent is left-handed, they will keep guessing where you'll place the ball. Because I have more variation in my placement. If I only use my hand, see, if I only use my hand to change direction, then both speed and spin drop. Your flick becomes very ordinary. You're flicking just to flick. Now everyone should understand why Lin Yun-Ju's flick is so effective. It's one of the reasons he has a solid place in world table tennis. Because of these details. These small things. Let me summarize it again. First, open your body sideways. Second, cock your wrist more. Third, push your hips out more aggressively. Fourth, pull both shoulders inward. Each point increases your reach and space, expands your range. While others flick inside the table, he's doing a fast rip flick inside the table. That's his advantage. Others just flick. He rips. Let's say you serve and he rips. A normal rip like this. Look at the quality. His receive already has this kind of quality. So his technique, his strength in the first 3 strokes, has always been above his teammates. So where does he win matches? Coach Sun summarizes it through these details. He wins.
Read more about table tennis on my blog, PingSunday.com. Get free ebook and coaching advices. See you in the next video.